Education since its establishment. Over the decades, the college has produced innovative teaching and learning practices, interdisciplinary approaches, community engagement, and the preservation of cultural heritage qualities that deeply resonate with the spirit of today's seminar. In recent years, our college has taken significant strides towards academic autonomy, curriculum enrichment, digital advancement, and inclusive educational opportunities. The regular organization of national and international seminars, publication of research articles, research journals, introduction of new contemporary academic programs, and initiatives which promote sustainability and community development are testimony to our college's vision of nurturing, responsible, and enlightened citizens, generating quality human resources who will work for the development of the nation. It is in this vibrant academic environment of inquiry and innovation that the Department of Education proudly convenes today's national seminar, which is on the topic Indian Knowledge System, the pathway to inclusive and sustainable education, reaffirming our commitment to meaningful scholarship and nation building. It is a matter of great honor and privilege for me to inaugurate this seminar and to welcome all of you who have gathered here to engage in scholarly reflection on a theme that is both rooted in our civilizational heritage and profoundly relevant to the educational challenges of the 21st century. The Indian knowledge system, which is commonly known or commonly abbreviated as IKS, refers to an intellectual tradition that has flourished, that has developed over thousands of years in our country. It encompasses diverse fields including philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, architecture, the arts, governance, economy, ecology, and ethical reasoning. Yet beyond its disciplinary richness, what makes IKS truly distinctive is its holistic vision. Knowledge in the Indian tradition has never been viewed merely as information or technical skill. It has always been regarded as a transformative force, a means of nurturing wisdom, character, and harmonious living. And it is this holistic orientation that offers valuable insights for shaping educational systems that inspire to be, that aspire to be, that aim to be inclusive, equitable and sustainable. In the contemporary world, our education system encounters numerous challenges. All of us are aware of rapid technological changes, environmental degradation, socio-economic disparities, which is increasing day by day, and psychological stress, and these factors are redefining the role of educational institutions. In such a context, turning to the IKS is not an act of nostalgia, but a thoughtful attempt to draw from a body of wisdom, our ancient wisdom, the rich treasure house of our ancient knowledge system that has always emphasized balance, compassion, interconnectedness, and responsibility towards both society and nature. The Indian philosophical tradition repeatedly reminds us that true learning cultivates not only the intellect but also ethical consciousness, self-discipline, and a sense of collective well-being. The theme of inclusivity, a thoughtful attempt has deep roots in our knowledge heritage, in our ancient knowledge system, and ancient centers of learning such as Taxila and Nalanda welcomed students from across regions, cultures, and intellectual backgrounds. The emphasis on dialogue, hospitality, and mutual respect created academic cultures that were open, inclusive, pluralistic, and richly democratic. And this spirit continued subsequently in the works by thinkers like Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi, and Sri Aurobindo, who believed that education must embrace diversity, celebrate individuality, and must uplift the socially marginalized. Their institutions demonstrated that inclusivity is not merely a policy mandate but a pedagogical commitment rooted in the belief that every learner possesses inherent potential. Equally significant is the contribution of the IKS to the idea of sustainability. And long before environmental concerns became a part of global academic discourse and political discourse, Indian texts articulated the principles of ecological harmony and the ethical stewardship of natural resources. The Vedic conception of Rata, the Upanishadic reflections on oneness, the Buddhist and Jain emphasis on non-violence, and the ecological wisdom embedded in Ayurveda, in architecture, and rural livelihoods all point to an understanding of sustainability that is both scientific and spiritual. These insights remind us that sustainable education must cultivate sensitivity towards the natural world, encourage mindful consumption, and promote lifestyles grounded in equilibrium rather than excess. The NEP 2020 also reaffirmed the need to integrate IKS into mainstream education, not as a parallel stream, but as a foundational lens that can enrich contemporary learning. And such integration encourages interdisciplinary thinking, fosters cultural confidence, and bridges the gap between traditional wisdom and modern scientific inquiry. It also urges institutions to rethink curriculum design, adopt experiential and value-based pedagogy, and build learning environments that are holistic and value-based and pedagogic contextually, and build learning environments. Now, as we move forward, that are today's holistic and value-based and provides contextually and build learning environments for in-depth reflection forward on these issues. Today's seminar and over the value-based and provides contextually and build learning environments for in-depth reflection forward on these which stimulate fresh academic discourse, inspire collaborative research, and generate practical frameworks through which the IKS can inform and transform our educational practices. The presence of eminent scholars and young researchers assures us that the discussions will be immensely stimulating and grounded in rigorous scholarship. And I take this opportunity to acknowledge the sincere efforts of the head of the Department of Education, who led the organizing committee, whose dedication and vision have made this seminar possible. I also extend my gratitude to the esteemed speakers and participants who will bring valuable perspectives to this important conversation. And with immense optimism for fruitful deliberations, I am extremely delighted to formally inaugurate today's national seminar on Indian knowledge system, the pathway to inclusive and sustainable education. And may this academic journey lead us towards a deeper understanding of our heritage and its potential to guide the educational future of our nation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, we are happy to say that we have presence of Pankaj Kumar Pal, Gorakhpur College. Now, I request, sir, Pankaj Kumar Pal, please come on the dais. And also requested to students, please felicitate. Sir. Felicitated by the student, Department of Education, Midnapur College. Thank you, sir. Now it's time to keynote speech. So I request all distinguished, please take a seat on front of the dais. Please, sir. Milan sir, please come on the dais. Milan sir.
And generate practical frameworks through which the IKS can inform and transform our educational practices.
It is my privilege to welcome you all to this one-day national seminar on Indian knowledge system, a pathway to inclusive and sustainable education. We are deeply honored to have as our keynote speaker Professor Ramakant Mahalik, a distinguished academician from the Regional Institute of Education, NCRT, Bhubaneswar. With over 21 years of dedicated service in teacher education, educational technology, and higher education, Professor Mohalik has been a guiding force in national educational reforms and curriculum development. His extensive scholarly contribution and leadership in implementing the NEP 2020 make him an inspiring figure in the field of contemporary Indian education. Today, he will enlighten us on a topic of great relevance: traditional ecological knowledge and sustainable development. At a time when the world is grappling with environmental changes, his insight on the wisdom embedded in Indian traditional ecological practices will help us understand how indigenous knowledge can shape a sustainable future for education and society. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extended a warm and heartful welcome to Professor Mohalik. We look forward to gaining valuable perspectives from the keynote address. Welcome, sir. Over to you, sir.
So thank you very much, Dr. Gokul Patra. I felt very happy to be present here on this auspicious day, and where we are discussing one of the very, very important topic, the Indian knowledge system. So most respected auspicious Dr. Asit Panda, and where we are discussing one of the very, very important topic. This is one of the biggest Indian knowledge system, West Bengal. So most respected auspicious team, distinguished faculty members present here, the students, the participants, the delegates from different parts of this West Bengal. You know, if you see in the world, there are 2-3 subjects that is being discussed. Among them, one subject is eye case. So Rashid Pandaji, he made my job very easy by speaking on a diverse aspect of this national seminar. You know, if I take you to different important points that is emerging now, not in our country, across the globe. So one point is artificial intelligence. So everywhere, wherever you go, the people started discussing on artificial intelligence. Another area that we are discussing, the disruptive technology like our mobile phone, the smartphone, smart devices, that they say a disturbing technology. And one more point that we are discussing now, the sustainable development, the climate change. And one of the most important point that is discussed not in India, across the globe, is Indian knowledge system. I think in India we say Indian knowledge system. In other countries they say indigenous knowledge system. It's not in India only we are discussing this Indian knowledge system. If you go to America also, the American people now started discussing on indigenous knowledge system. Any country, any parts of the world you go, there is a lot of discussion on indigenous knowledge system. So in that context, you know, thinking on a seminar or discussion on indigenous knowledge system is really very, very relevant and very useful for all of us. All of us, I mean, we are all teachers. This is also required for us to understand knowledge system is really very, its application. Even the students, those are future teachers, the future citizen of this country, future leader of this country, they should also understand this indigenous knowledge system, because such a burning topic. So therefore I appreciate Dr. Asit Panda, his entire team, the Department of Education, for deciding such an important topic, Indian knowledge system. We need to understand. We are discussing many topics that emerge from Western science and technology. We are all familiar with that, but we are not familiar with what happened here in Medinapur, what happened in West Bengal, what happened in our country. So by organizing this kind of seminar and conferences, I think we can create awareness among our students, among ourselves, about this indigenous knowledge, the local knowledge system. And since many students are there, I will try to speak on some of the basic concepts in Indian knowledge system. At the same time, I should also want to tell you my limitation. I am not a scholar of Sanskrit. You know, when you discuss about the Indian knowledge system, like, you know, we need to refer to the Sanskrit literature. But I am not a scholar of Sanskrit. But I will speak on my understanding and indigenous knowledge system, and then I try to relate it to education, then pedagogy, then sustainable development. So when you see, there are three important points, three important words I can say in the seminar topic itself. One is Indian knowledge system, Second one is sustainable, inclusive education and sustainable education. The three words: Indian knowledge system, the inclusive education, and sustainable development. There is one commonality. There is one commonality among the three terms. These three terms are multidisciplinary in nature. When you talk about Indian knowledge system is not a very specific discipline. It is not belongs to any one topic. Nobody can claim that Indian knowledge system is mine. The Sanskrit people cannot say this Indian knowledge system means we are only, this is part of Sanskrit. Hindi people cannot say this is part of any Hindi or any literature. I think Indian knowledge system is a concept that is multidisciplinary in nature. Similarly, we say inclusive education, and the economic people they say inclusive growth. Inclusive growth, inclusive education, this is also multidisciplinary. Inclusive education is not only the subject of education. This is also discussed in economics. This is also discussed in sociology and other subjects. So inclusive education is also a multidisciplinary concept. And sustainability and sustainable development, sustainable growth, everyone is speaking. We are in education, we are also speaking. The economists, they also speak. The education, the planners, the planning commission, the Niti Aayog, they are also speaking about the sustainable development. So I say these three terms are interrelated. My second point is, like the first point I said, the three terms are multidisciplinary concept, and we need to understand ICAS, Indian knowledge system, the sustainable development and inclusive education in a diverse perspective, in a diverse concept. And the second point I want to tell you here, this inclusive education, sustainable education or sustainable growth and ICAS, they are interrelated. They are very, very interrelated. That Dr. Rashid Kumar Panda sir also talked about that. They are interrelated. Through ICAS, now we are thinking of, the idea is emerging. By practicing and using Indian knowledge system, we can bring inclusive growth, we can bring sustainable development. This is a hypothesis, I can say this is growing up. Not in India, across the globe. In the last, if you say last 50 years, I say not 50 years, more than that. Across the globe, the people of this globe, they have invested a lot in the development of science and technology. We have reached to such a point when everything is mechanized. You try to imagine last 50 years, because of the science and technology, everything is mechanized now. Because of this mechanization, this entire society, entire humanity is facing a lot of problem and crisis. This is not in India. Across the globe you see, there are crises in the human relation. There is a crisis in the environment. There is a climate change. There is a degradation of health. So what I want to tell you, because of this, high dependence on technology, highly mechanized society, now the humanity is facing a different challenges. The value has been degraded everywhere. Our life becomes, if you see the global happiness index, so we are nowhere. We say Indian people, we say we have everything, but we are nowhere, we are not happy. So what I want to tell you, because of high dependent on Austrian science and technology, I think this may be the outcome. Therefore the time has come, the last 10 years I say, last 10 years. So in India, a group of researchers, they have done research on our Indian knowledge system. Now the time has come, we have to apply that Indian knowledge system to our life so that we can resolve, we can solve the problem that we are now facing. It may be a climate change, it may be a sudden flood, cloud bursts, sudden temperature rise. A lot of problems are coming up. So that is something related to sustainable development. So I can say the Indian knowledge system can help us to have a sustainable development. The simple concept is sustainable development means we need development not at the cost of environment, not at the cost of humanity. We need environment, and at the same time we want to save the environment, we want to save the humanity. That is sustainable development. And therefore there is a lot of discussion, lot of seminar discussion is going on ICAS. And in education department, we are taking lead. I think education department is taking lead in what I want to tell you. All other departments are working on Indian knowledge system, but education department is a key department. Any university, college and universities, we are the key department to promote this ICAS. When I say education means, science is also education, the chemistry department is also education, the literature department is also education. Education sector I say, education sector is taking lead in doing research in promoting the Indian knowledge system. Because through education we can pass this Indian knowledge system to our future generation, our child, those who will lead the country maybe in the next 50 years or 100 years. So therefore, this topic in Indian knowledge system must be integrated to our education system. And Dr. Ponda also suggesting, he also quoted on national education policy, I will speak on it. Let me tell you a very brief concept of this Indian knowledge system. I think Indian knowledge system, when you say Indian knowledge system has no boundary. If you read the literature Indian knowledge system, you will see there is no boundary of Indian knowledge system. And therefore I say Indian knowledge system is very diverse. Indian knowledge system is all inclusive concept. There is no boundary. You cannot say this is physics, this is chemistry, this is philosophy, and this is literature. But that boundary is not applicable in Indian knowledge system. If my senior colleague will agree with me, maybe 200 years ago, 100 years ago, we don't have any subject at all. Only one thing, that is knowledge. Knowledge includes everything. Then philosophy. So recently we have a lot of fragmentation, lot of separation. We have, number of subjects are coming up. But the knowledge is one only. That Indian knowledge system, when I say it includes a lot of things I said. Indian knowledge system includes the knowledge, the oral tradition of our country. Nowhere it is written. Nowhere, no books is there. Oral traditions. Even in this Medinapur, I am from Odisha, even in Odisha, very remotest part of the Odisha, the remote village of the Odisha, so we will find some oral traditional knowledge. The people, when they have a fever, they have some plant leaves. They eat the plant leaves and the fever will go. So this is oral tradition, nowhere, no books is there. Recently some people started writing on this, but no books are there. Indian knowledge system means, they say oral tradition, many things are not recorded. Now the government of India and the different state government, they are taking care how to record, how to document this oral tradition. Oral tradition is one aspect. Another is ancient practices. Ancient practices are there. That was practiced in our temples, that practices in our mosque, in many religious places. There are such practices are there, that was also not recorded. Only the puja, they know it, the monk, they know it. The ancient practices are also the Indian knowledge system. There are local traditions. Every locality has a certain tradition maybe relating to cultural, maybe related to literature, maybe related to economy. They have if you go to the tribal area, they will create, they have some kind of pot where they can put the water that will be cool or cooler for a long time. In our urban setup, we need a fridge, but they don't have fridge. But at the same time, they can have the cold waters. That is the local kind of knowledge. Every locality, they have a different kinds of knowledge. That is also list recorded. That we say the tribal knowledge system. Many of the Indian knowledge system is that we say that is recorded in our Vedic tradition. Vedic tradition, Upanishad tradition, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Smritis. These traditions or these traditional classical literature of our country is filled with the Indian knowledge system. Therefore, I said, if you want to really understand the Indian knowledge system, we need to conversant, we need to understand in Sanskrit. Because most of the Indian knowledge systems are recorded in the Sanskrit language. Recently, they are translated into a variety of languages. So the Sanskrit scholar nowadays, actually, there is a great demand of the Sanskrit scholars. Because if you want to understand this one, you need to understand Sanskrit. So we have to listen from the Sanskrit scholars. Because the original text of the scriptures are in Sanskrit, all in the Pali scripts. That you need to understand it. And when I talk about this Indian knowledge system, I already said this is a multidisciplinary subject. Indian knowledge system means it is related to diverse subject in the modern science. Indian knowledge system, even medicine we have an Indian knowledge system, Ayurveda, United medicine, the Indian knowledge system. Even every village has a Vaidya. So Vaidya is also a part of medicine, and many people they got, they are getting cured even today also. Mathematics we have an Indian knowledge system. We have a very, very popular methods now we are teaching in the schools, Vedic mathematics. Very, very long mathematical formula can be quickly solved by using the Vedic mathematics. Now Vedic mathematics is a part of school textbooks. Then in astronomy we have a lot of contribution. Literature, I said you all the literature in the science. There is the list, if you explore this Indian knowledge system in all the different subjects, you will find a lot of literature now. Even, astonish, you will be surprised to know that even most of the researchers are Western researchers. They took interest in our country. They dig our traditional knowledge system. And I don't say that our Indian researcher has not done it. Indian researchers now, they are working on Indian knowledge system, they are exploring, they are documenting, they are recording it. Along with the Indians, there are many foreign researchers, they are working it. The Vedic mathematics is taught in different universities in the global. If you go to the Oxford, Cambridge, Japan, Germany, so they are teaching the Vedic mathematics. So our Indian knowledge systems are taught in other countries of the world. Because other countries of the world, they found that these are more powerful. Our medicine, our mathematics, our scientific inventions were more powerful than their Western science. So they are doing research on that. I will speak more on education. Because IKS has no boundaries, you have to explore it. But since many students are there in education, I will speak on education more. Okay. I will just expand what Dr. Panda said. The national education policy, you just imagine all my respected colleagues sitting here. National education policy came in our country in 2020. You just imagine before 2020. Indian knowledge system as a topic was least discussed. Indian knowledge system as a topic was least discussed. People are doing work. I know some people, even though work in this field maybe 20 years ago. National education policy came in 2020, only 5 years. But before that, people are working on Indian knowledge system. But the recent interest and widespread use of Indian knowledge system can be attributed to the national education policy, because we are all working the system higher education and national education policy and higher education, they are interrelated. We have to implement national education policy in one way and other form. So this national education policy has highlighted, has strongly recommended to do research, to teach Indian knowledge system in our colleges and universities. And for your information also, you want to learn about ICAS. There is a ICAS cell at the Ministry of Education. That is Indian knowledge system cell is there. The government is spending a lot of money on this. This Indian knowledge system is organizing seminars to create awareness among the students and teachers about the Indian knowledge system. Those who are interested, they can visit the Indian knowledge system cell and they can do it. And all my faculty members, the respected colleagues, if you want to do research on Indian knowledge system, now the government is ready to sponsor. There is a Indian Council of Social Science Research, even any council, ICSSR, UGC, they are funding research projects. If your research project is based on either Indian knowledge system or your local knowledge system or tribal knowledge system, so your research project will be easily funded. Why I am talking about this? Because that is the agenda of the government now. Agenda of the government to explore the Indian knowledge system, document it, practice it, and it should reach to each and every one. Because we want to reverse now. You start in social media, everything is coming. So how by following this, our traditional practice, sugar is reversed, blood pressure is reversed. There is something there that we need to verify it also, because there is a genuine interest there. I hope that many of us we are practicing yoga, meditation. This is all indigenous, but we are doing it. So national education policy talk about multidisciplinary education, and I say ICAS is a multidisciplinary education. National education policy is talking about collage. Kala means in Bengal and Odisha we say art. Bengal and Odisha we say kala means art. But our Indian knowledge system say there are 64 skills, they say. Interpretation, the way the scholar they interpret it, this is not a art. Art means we mean that dance, drama, singing, this is art. But here art means different. Your carpentry is also art. Your teaching is also art. Your drawing, painting is of course art. Your treating patient is also art. They say in a modern definition is art means skill. So Indian knowledge system is based on 64 college. Those who study the ancient Indian knowledge system or ancient Indian education, the Gurukul system, the Vedic education system, they may be knowing what are the different college or skill that are taught to the students. In ancient time, students are all-rounded. Nowadays we say only in the cricket we say all-rounder. All-rounder means he or she can bat and bowl. But in ancient times, all students are all-rounder. All-rounder I mean they are trained in, they are educated in 64 skills and 64 arts. Therefore they are all-rounder. Therefore now, if you want to use Indian knowledge system or Indian knowledge system, then all our future students will be all-rounder. They have given a different name, holistic education. All-rounder means in the national education policy a new name, that is holistic education. Holistic education means, that is they say, all-round development of the student. You are good in chemistry, right, fine, you are good in chemistry, that is okay. At the same time, you should be good in your language. You should be good in communication. Chemistry, you are good, very good. You can also dance well. You can have a good in some other subject. The national education policy has taken this idea of holistic education or all-round development of our students from this Indian knowledge system. So if you see all our ancient heroes like Arjun, maybe your Yudhishthir or anyone you take up that time, so they have all skills they developed. So the modern education system, we want to bring such a concept to modern education system where each and every child, in our times, even 40 years ago, in our student time, if you are playing means, if you are very good in games, if you are playing always, then our parent used to scold us. Why you are playing? Why you are going to the play? If you play means you are not good student. But the concept has changed now. If you are playing, you play, at the same time you can become a good student in your school. So this is based on the Indian knowledge system, because in a Gurukul system, everything students were doing it. One of the very, very important point I will speak in the next slide is the Indian pedagogy. The Indian knowledge system has two important relation with our education. One is the Indian knowledge. Knowledge, I mean the content. Knowledge, I mean the subject. Maybe in different subject. That we have to bring to our modern education system. That we have to include in our curriculum and textbook. And the second one is the Indian pedagogy. Pedagogy, I mean for the reference of other teachers. Pedagogy means how to teach. One is the Indian knowledge, Indian subject, Indian content, and another is Indian pedagogy. And this national education policy that I am talking about, that is based on the Indian knowledge and Indian pedagogy. I will speak on it. And this is something that our Indian knowledge system or Indian education system is promoting. This is something I don't know whether you earlier heard about it. This I am talking about Pancha Kosha Vikas. Sir, like Pancha Kosha Vikas. This is, even in Bengali you can also understand Pancha Kosha Vikas. Pancha means five. Kosha means very good. Kosha means cell. Kosha means layer. So this is an Indian knowledge system. So this knowledge system we want to integrate in our school education, in our college education. And this is also nothing about a holistic education that we want to promote. Pancha Kosha Vikas. You Google it, you will find a beautiful picture that explains the Pancha Kosha Vikas. I have written here Pancha Koshatmak Vikas. Pancha Koshatmak Vikas. This is complete. This is taken from Taittiriya Upanishad, and this is something was our Gurukul system, Vedic education system was based on this. Now, this we want to bring. I am just presenting before you. If you like it, you accept it. Because the future education, because if we want to survive, we want to become a holistic learner. Holistic means all-round learners. Let me explain very well, like very briefly I want to tell. For the Pancha Kosha Vikas, that means they say, every human being, every child or man or woman has 5 layers, Panch Kosha, I think 5 layers. आप देखा ना ओनियन प्याज देखा है ना नहीं, प्याज का एक लेयर है, प्याज का लेयर है, काटते ना एक लेयर, कितना लेयर है प्याज में कितना लेयर है? हाउ मेनी लेयर्स इन द प्याज? ये आंसर का कोई जवाब नहीं है. ये 3 इडियट का क्वेश्चन है, इसका आंसर नहीं है, इसका आंसर है बट देयर इज नो करेक्ट आंसर। आप बोलेंगे 5 लेयर भी है, दैट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट। ओके, so like peers, the layers are there and every human being has also layers। जो फर्स्ट लेयर है, ऊपर वाला लेयर, पेज का जो ऊपर वाला लेयर है, दैट you can read from here, this one, the ऊपर वाला जो लेयर है is this, ये ऊपर वाला जो लेयर है अन्नमय कोश। अन्न मीन्स ये जो भात आपका है वही अन्न है। देखो जो ऊपर वाला जो लेयर है, द टॉप मोस्ट लेयर इज द अन्नमय कोश। और उसका थोड़ा ऊपर जाइए, ऊपर नहीं, उसका थोड़ा नीचे, ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे जाइए, देन यू विल फाइंड ए प्राणमय कोश। प्राण, उसका नीचे प्राणमय कोश। और उसका नीचे जाइए, देयर इज ए मनोमय कोश। मोनो मीन्स मनोमय कोश। और उसका नीचे जाइए, देयर इज ए विज्ञानमय कोश। विज्ञान मीन्स साइंस नहीं है, विज्ञान मीन्स आवर इंटेलेक्ट नॉट साइंस। विज्ञान मीन्स इंटेलेक्ट, विज्ञान मीन्स आवर कैपेसिटी, ओके, आवर मेंटल एबिलिटी। विज्ञान मीन्स नॉट साइंस। देन पूरा अंदर में जो कोर है, द हार्ट ऑफ दिस onion example I have given, the heart is anandamaya kosha. So ananda, ananda means what? Anand means happiness, bliss. So this indicates we want to have a complete man. Indian knowledge system talk about development of a complete man. Present education, not I am talking about present education has changed. If you talk about in our time, I say 30 years, 40 years ago, our education was, my education I say, like 40 years ago when I was in the school, our education was one-sided. Everyone was giving pressure. Everyone was giving pressure to us. You read. And that was Vijnanamaya course. पढ़ो। Mama भी, mother will tell you read, father will tell you read, uncle will tell you read, grandpapa will tell you also read. So our education was one-sided. In our times, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, old sir will know how many teachers are there sitting here who can sing. Ye jo teachers are sitting, including me also, if I ask how many of you can sing, 1 or 2 people can sing. But now you go to the school and you prove it. Now you go to the any school. You ask the student in the entire class, how many can sing? इसका आंसर क्या है? Now if you go to, अरे समझ में आता है? Now you go to the school and ask the student, there are 40 students are sitting, if you say, who will sing? Definite, all 40 will say, I want to sing. This is a change. So what I want to say, in our time, our personality was not developed because education was one-sided. Only पढ़ो आप, पढ़ो. Now this is the problem is there. Now so many diverse. Now highly educated people are committing suicide. Education is very positively related to corruption. The education and corruption are very positive. All the people like us who are highly educated, we are highly corrupt. Because our education was one-sided. Now time has come, we want to make our education as a holistic. ये जो 4 layers and 5 layers I told you, when a child develop all 5 dimensions, that child becomes a complete human being. सो इसीलिए अन्नमय कोश आपको एजुकेशन जो इट मे बी कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी अन्नमय कोश मीन्स we have to take good food, then you become our physical development. Annamaya kosha is related to physical development. If you don't take good food, if you don't take rest, if you don't play, then your physical aspect, the outer aspect of the human body cannot develop. And that is also required. You cannot become a good doctor unless you are physically fit. अब जब तक आप डॉक्टर कैसे बनेंगे आप? तो फिजिकली फिट होंगे तो फिर डॉक्टर बनेंगे, किसका सेवा करेंगे? बट यू आर नॉट फिजिकली फिट, हाउ कैन यू बिकम ए डॉक्टर? सो इसीलिए हमको फिजिकली फिट होना पड़ेगा. एंड दैट इज इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम, इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. हमको फिजिकली फिट, एवरीवन को फिजिकली फिट होना चाहिए. नेक्स्ट लेयर इज प्राण. आई थिंक यू नो Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, which belongs to West Bengal. The Aurobindo Ghosh propagated the idea of integral education. Sir, integral education in Bangla में क्या है? हाँ? समन्वय शिक्षा. Sir, integral education talk about. So the concept is here one concept are relating. Aurobindo Ghosh also talking about 4 kind of development. इसमें एक है प्राणमय कोश. मीन्स यू नो वी आर अलाइव. व्हाट इज प्रूफ वी आर अलाइव? हम सब जिंदा है, इसका प्रूफ क्या है? हम सब जिंदा है, इसका प्रूफ क्या है? जो जिसका पर डाउट होता है ना, वी गो एंड सी, उसका ऐसे दे दे, ऐसे दे दे. वी वांट टू चेक विद द वायु, ये जो प्राण मीन्स वायु जा रहा है कि नहीं जा रहा है, इसे हम देखते, हाँ जिंदा है. और डॉक्टर जाएगा, डॉक्टर ऐसे करके देखेगा, डॉक्टर चेक पल्स, हाँ यस जिंदा है. दैट इज समथिंग वी से प्राण. वी आर लाइव बिकॉज वी आर इनहेलिंग ऑक्सीजन, वी आर एक्सेलिंग, एंड दैट बिकॉज आवर लाइफ इन द एयर, दैट इज समथिंग वी आर टेकिंग एंड वी आर गेटिंग आउट. Prana, this is somewhere it is a prana. And that also we have to strengthen. Our prana also we have to strengthen, we have to develop. And that prana, how can you develop it? इसीलिए now Indian knowledge system is talking about you go for a yoga pranayama. Yoga pranayama is nothing but it's controlling your breathing system. मैं भी सब लोग सब कर रहे, ये जो प्राणायाम एंड योगो, तो धीरे धीरे आप कंट्रोल करते हैं. जो भी प्राणायाम योगो मेडिटेशन, दैट वी आर डूइंग बिकॉज वी वांट टू कीप आवर प्राण हेल्दी. एवरीवन, इवन इफ स्टूडेंट्स, समटाइम्स स्टूडेंट, द मॉडर्न स्टूडेंट, दे लाफ एट अस. सर प्राणायाम योगो दिस इज फॉर द ओल्ड पीपल ओनली. नो, प्राणायाम योगो is for everyone. I suggest you also do pranayama. You also do meditation. This will help you to become a healthier. Because we are live because some air is going and coming. That air, breathing exercise. There are a lot of, that your business is going on. A lot of people, experts are there. Those will help you how to control it. Many diseases like blood pressure, diabetic, many things it is getting control. Every day we are getting a lot of tension. By doing this pranayama exercise, you can do it. So pranayama, yoga, that will make our pranamaya kosha healthy. Then it comes a monomaya kosha. Mono is related to your emotion. Emotion समझते आप? You cry, you get anxiety, you got angry. So nowadays psychology is important. Nowadays your mental health is important. Mentally healthy. You are physically healthy and you should be mentally healthy. So nowadays what is happening? You see the students are getting enrolled in the IIT. IIT, top examination. They are passing top examination. They are getting enrolled in the IIT, AIMS. But some people are committing suicide. They are losing their mental health. they are not able to control their emotion, because उनका पास they don't have a proper development of prana, monomaya kosam. Mono. We have to control our minds. For this we need to go for a meditation. Every day we should go for a meditation. Your concentration power will increase. Student के लिए, you also do meditation. Your mind will be controlled. Your anxiety will be reduced. Because that is nowadays entire society is concerned about this. Now recently, somewhere in the Delhi, one student jumped from maybe some stair. They jumped and died. The lower class student, class 6 or 7, something like that. We are not able to control our emotion. I have given an example. The top ranked student, those who are getting admission IIT, they are doing it. Now this becomes a question in the parliament. Why it is happening? Whether our education system is responsible for this? We don't have an answer. Our modern science cannot answer to this question. Our modern science cannot give answer. Modern science will give you the medicine. You will control it as long as you take the medicine. Every day you have to take the medicine. But our Indian knowledge system can help you to control it. So I am talking about the monomaya kosa, mono, your emotion. Then vijnanamoya kosa, everyone is kosa. Vijnana means your knowledge, your mental ability, your capacity. That also we have to promote it, and that is we are doing it. And the last one is anandamaya kosa. I have given example. Happiness index. You know happiness index? There is a globally happiness index is calculated, and our rank means the rank of India is or the bottom. Maybe India se niche, even our Pakistan people are more happier than Indian people. Our Bangladesh people are more happier than us. That means we are not happy, something is happening. This knowledge system, Indian knowledge system can help us. If you do all the, if you have also proper development of physical, proper development of prana, proper development of mono, your control your anxiety, your vijnanamaya kosa will develop, and finally, if these 4 happens, then automatically you will be happy. You will get a bliss. And that is something I talk about pancho kosa vikas or pancho kosatmak vikas. This education or our education systems, we should change it, and we should include in our school education and college education. This is nowhere related to any religion. Whatever I said, this is nowhere related to any religion. This is a secular concept. This is useful for the humanity. You want to exist, I want to exist, we have to practice it. I want my child should exist. My child should practice it. So this is contribution of Indian knowledge system. I will talk about this also another idea that's coming from this Indian knowledge system that we are talking about. Now there is a big campaign by the government of India. So we want to become a Vishwa Guru. I don't know. We want to become a Vishwa Guru, and maybe 5,000 years ago, 5,000 वर्ष पहले 5,000, 6,000 years ago, India was one of the superpower. India was Vishwa Guru. Now we want to become a Vishwa Guru. Vishwa Guru समझते आते ना? कवि गुरु? Who is a कवि गुरु? Rabindranath Tagore. So that India want to become a Vishwa Guru. So our target was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are not India is only one country. India is only one country in this world who believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We don't want our country to develop. We also want others should also develop. That is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And another concept I am putting here before you. This is also taken from the ancient knowledge. Samagra Vikas. ये बांग्ला उड़िया में बुझे समग्र मीन्स समग्र विकास, समग्र विकास, holistic development that I said, that is for student. Here I am talking about samagra vikas is another concept. This is related to vasudhaiva kutumbakam. सबका विकास होगा. एज ए मेन आई शुड, मेरा भी विकास होना चाहिए. My family members are not developed, then I have not developed. If I develop, I am getting lot of money, I stay in luxury. But if my parents are not in luxury, my brother and sisters are not in luxury, then I have not developed. Samagra Vikas is talking about, we have to do, we believe, Indian tradition beliefs. I should develop, my family should develop, my society, my friends, my neighbors should develop, my village should develop, my nation should develop. Not nation, the globe should develop. Even globe का बाद में universe है. And that is समग्र विकास. आपको लगता है sometimes this is a philosophical concept. ये philosophy नहीं, this is practical. Only India develop होने से, India develop हो गया. Suppose India develop हो गया, हमारा दोनों पड़ोस से वो develop नहीं हुआ, वो तो बार-बार हमको disturb करेंगे. आपका एरिया, you stay in a locality, you are very rich people, but आप surrounded by the poor people. You cannot live happily there. हर दिन आपसे चोरी करेंगे, आपको ढेला मारेंगे ऐसे. Why I am telling about समग्र विकास? क्योंकि because of this globalization, anything happened in America that is directly impacting India. देखो अमेरिका में, अमेरिका भी बहुत सारा पॉलिसी चेंज कर दिया. इंडियन पीपल आर, वी आर मच ओवर इट. आवर स्टॉक मार्केट, आवर कंपनी आर क्रश्ड. अमेरिका जो डिसीजन अभी लिया ना, इंडियन लोग को हम नहीं लेंगे, वीजा में जो फीस बढ़ा दिया, और इंडिया का लोग को ढूंढ के आप डिपार्ट कर रहे, आप जाओ डिपोर्ट कर देगा. ये जो व्हाट हैपेंस इन अमेरिका, एंड इमीडिएटली दैट हैज इंपैक्टेड इन आवर कंट्री. जिसका जो स्टूडेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स, आप लोग इकोनॉमिक स्टूडेंट जानेंगे, अपना कंपनी दे आर वरीड अबाउट दिस. इट वाज ए बिग न्यूज. स्टॉक मार्केट क्रैश हो गया. So that means because of globalization, that one country if we not developing, they will create problem for others. इसीलिए अच्छा होगा हम सब साथ मिल के बढ़ेंगे. That is समग्र विकास. And this is only one country, India, who should take pride on this, who believes in that. बाकी ऐसा कोई कंट्री नहीं है जो बिलीव करता है हम भी बढ़े वो बढ़े, नहीं. वो बोलेंगे हम ही बढ़ेंगे. बट इंडिया इज द ओनली वन कंट्री विच बिलीव इन दैट. ये कॉन्सेप्ट हमारा बच्चों का दिमाग में आना चाहिए. एंड यू शुड अप्रिशिएट इट एंड यू शुड कम्युनिकेट इट. और ये एजुकेशन सिस्टम में आना चाहिए, हमारा एंटायर एजुकेशन. आई विल हैव वन मोर स्लाइड, आई विल स्टॉप इट. ओके, दिस इज द लास्ट स्लाइड. आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट two concepts I told you, because this is Indian tradition, say how it is related to education. And this is I am talking about Indian pedagogy. Because many students are Indian pedagogy है. I talk about Indian knowledge system means the content and pedagogy. Content, science, medicine, everywhere we have to know art. But Indian pedagogy means how we teach. These are the, maybe 20 years ago when I was a student, our teacher used to say, these are the traditional pedagogy. Yes, that was traditional pedagogy. In our teacher 20-25 years ago, our teachers were telling these are the traditional pedagogy. We need a modern pedagogy. Now education we teach the modern pedagogy. But now the situation is reversed now. We want to, now once again we have to re-emphasize the Indian pedagogy. Now our target is, our education system should be based on Indian knowledge and Indian pedagogy. स्मृति, इसको श्रुति. Veda, we say the Veda is also Shruti. It's an oral tradition. Oral tradition. I don't know how it passes on. Now we are talking about in English translation जो है memory. Because we say now 20 years ago we say memory means memory is a bad pedagogy. Because you remember. It's a bad pedagogy. But now the situation is reverse. This is not reverse in our country. This is internationally the people do research and they found that memory is the first layer of learning. बिना memory में आप कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे. Memory. Now Shruti is something like memorizing with understanding. Memorizing with understanding. And when you understand, you memorize better. When you understand, you memorize better. इसलिए हमको memory करना है. Memory का मतलब ऐसा नहीं है only you memorize, don't understand. That memory, Indian tradition says, only Shruti नहीं है, you remember it with understanding. That is a new pedagogy that we want to propagate. All of you will agree with me that if you don't remember it, you cannot go further. कोई मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला तो आप याद कर देंगे बट इसको कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग यू कैनॉट इंप्लीमेंट इट. इसलिए ये कनेक्टेड होता है. वी नीड मेमोरी बिकॉज मेमोरी इज द फाउंडेशन ऑफ ऑल अदर लर्निंग. बाकी आप जो कुछ करेंगे and that depends on the memory. The memory, the Indian pedagogy, that because these are oral tradition. Our ancestors, they have memorized a lot of things. Debate and discussion. In our Gurukul system, in our ancient Indian system, these pedagogy are mostly followed. Debate and discussion. Debate and discussion develops critical thinking. Debate and discussion develop the problem solving ability. Even what happens? We followed mostly a lecture method. All our many professors, we go for a lecture method. Lecture method is one of the passive learning technique. Passive learning technique, I mean, I am a good orator, I will speak only. I don't know whether you are listening, not listening, remembering anything, writing anything. I don't bother about it. And I don't bother about whether you are understanding anything from a lecture or not. I am giving lecture, very good lecture I am giving. But what you are doing, I am not sure. So therefore, lecture method has been discarded in the Indian system. Lecture method is a foreign method of teaching. It is not an Indian method of teaching. So Indian method of teaching is something we have to go for a debate. Debate, discussion is there. Question answer. Question answer we say it is Socratic method. No, before Socrates, question answer method was practiced in our Indian tradition. Because we believe that in Mahabharata, Arjuna was asking question and he was getting answer from the Sri Krishna. Question answer. Through question answer, like the Arjuna was getting education. This is our oral tradition. So question answer, we should go for a question answer. That is also another example. I have written here Indian knowledge system. This is maybe debate. Some people they say we should go for a Abhimanyu pedagogy. That research must be done on Abhimanyu pedagogy. Abhimanyu, you know Abhimanyu? Who is Abhimanyu? Okay. But Abhimanyu pedagogy, there is a concept that needs a lot of research. So माँ पेट से वो सीख लिया. That needs a research. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Close कर देंगे अभी. Okay. Anyway, I have a long PowerPoint presentation, but I will stop here. As I said, like Indian knowledge system is a multidisciplinary concept, and really it has relevance for all our life problems and issues. Now every subject expert they are exploring, they are doing research, they are teaching about the Indian knowledge system. I say in education we are studying, economics they are studying, scientists they are also studying. Everyone is talking about Indian knowledge system. And therefore once again I really appreciate the effort of this Medinapur College and Dr. Panda, his team, Dr. Gokul, for choosing such a topic, because we need to discuss on it. I'm not talking about what I said you believe, you don't believe, but you explore it. You explore it. Now knowledge is free. Now we are in such a position now. At this moment education is liberal. What I say it's not guarantee you have to believe. You just listen. You explore, you debate, you discuss, you read. Then you can take your own conclusion and your own decision. But the discussion should start from this auditorium or seminar hall. Okay, thank you very much for inviting and listening to me. I express my sincere thanks to Principal Sir, all the senior colleagues, Head Education Department for a invitation and discussion. Thank you very much.
Sir, this is a book, I have co-authored this book. This is Indian Ethos and Knowledge Traditions. So I want to give one copy to Dr. Panda, please come.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please come on the stage, our beloved principal, Dr. Osit Panda.
Because ICAS is now integrated in every subject. So this is for education mostly we have written for education, but other subjects also it is used. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. In future, we'll try to collect this book in our library for the use of our students. Very valuable book. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to question and questioning. If any student or presenting here in delegates want to question, so please stand up and question of our resource person. If any question.
Thank you for your valuable talk. And I agree with you. Whenever we used to go Europe, every time I heard that we have some glorious past. But one thing is that it's not a question or it's not a query. It's my realization. What you have told, actually we expect more. This is nothing but some body of Indian knowledge system. Something like that as per Medna Shah, saw bhi baate aache. So we expect some intensive study. That will help. What you have told, that is our debate session, almost done in Socrates' day. Socrates didn't write anything in book. All these things are written by students, by Plato. So if you go throughout the world, I visited 16 countries and I just acquainted with this, actually education system. Almost same thing they have told. So what's new? What's some intensive study we used to do? That's my query. It's my realization. It's not a question. It's not a query.
Or anyone? Or people?
Sir, pray once again. What is Bikkanmaya Ghosh? What is Bikkanmaya Ghosh? Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Actually, what the difference is that we use some Sanskrit words that was not there. If you go for the 1986, same thing is written, and you told that knowledge, memory, something like that. This is nothing but the Bloom taxonomy. This is, you told me that if you memorize, you have to understand all. This is nothing but the Bloom taxonomy. So, what's new in Indian knowledge system? We need some extensive research, and we expect from you much more than this. This is the knowledge, and Google version, something like that is a knowledge. Okay. Thank you, sir.
I have another question, sir. That I think there's a movement going on worldwide, and that is decolonization of knowledge. So every country which had been colonized, they are now trying to revive their indigenous system of knowledge. So how can you relate this revival of the Indian knowledge system with that decolonization of knowledge? If you can say it in brief. Thank you, sir.
I think I'll start with Sir. Sir, what you said, I agree, because after independence, we believe our education systems we are following, or we followed maybe 60 years around. That is a colonial education or Machiavellian education that many people they say many places. And you have a valid point, even I agree with you. We need to do an extensive research on this. Not simply speaking that this works, but we have to practice. First, we have to do research, we have to document it, we have to practice it. Then, with the evidence, we have to come to the stage and speak. This is something is useful for us. That I agree, sir. And for your information, I also said we open up. We means I think the government has opened up an Indian knowledge system cell. That cell is working on it. I think many scientists are working, many Vedic scholars are working on it. Maybe we have to wait for some more time, where we will get a very concrete evidence based what you are expecting, so that even the common people they ask this question, not you. Many common people they ask this question because we have not seen. When we have not seen, how can we believe? That's a very genuine question. But this is not a responsibility of only the speaker who is speaking from this side. This is responsibility of everyone present here. We are all faculty, all respected colleagues and professors. Even our students who will be doing research in future. We have to dig into it. We have to really find out this. Then only something very concrete we can say. That I really agree. And your second comment that you said on Bloom's taxonomy. Sir, actually if you compare the Mahatma Gandhi, the Gandhi education philosophy, he was speaking about body, mind, spirit. Body, mind, spirit. I don't know who copied from who. Whether Bloom's copied from Gandhi or Gandhi copied from Bloom, that argument I don't want to push it. But Mahatma Gandhi, if you believe this body, mind, spirit, and you compare with the Bloom's, this cognitive, affective, psychomotor, nothing, no difference you will find it. Therefore, but we are taught by our teachers, our books, our university, the Bloom's has given it. Because we are taught by that, Bloom's has given this remembering is. But the base idea is Mahatma Gandhi, the body, mind, spirit. I also said, sir, if you can remember, memory, because it was taught to us. You are memorizing, you are not understanding. But Indian tradition believes you have to memorize with understanding. I am not contradicting with the Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is the idea for systematizing education, systematize our teaching. But I am not, contradicting, but only I am talking about this memorizing with understanding. That is our oral tradition talk about. So definitely I will take your suggestion and advice. We will work on it. This is also my responsibility, your responsibility, everyone's responsibility. We have to do it. And Madam has a very valid question. Like that is also discussed everywhere. And most of the I said also, across the world, the peoples, all the nations, they started working on, their traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge. That every country they started it. And by the way, there is another slogan is coming. The way it is coming in our country also. We want to decolonize our minds, decolonize our education system, decolonize our administration. These things are coming up. But they both are related. You want to decolonize means you have to bring something your own country that you want to implement. Then automatically the colonial idea will automatically go. They are related. We have to bring our own. Then automatically this one will go. They both are related. The students talk about Vigyan also, sometimes when you say Vigyan, in Bengali and Odia, we also believe in science. But here, Vigyan is not science. It is something like, this is also process of knowing. How we know. It is relating to our capacity. It is relating to our inquisitiveness. This is not science. This is science of knowing. Science of knowing. How I learn. How you learn. What factor contributes for learning. That is Vigyan. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Swamiji, namaste. Swamiji, okay.
Thank you, sir. Now, we are very glad to announce our second speaker is present here, Swami Kamalasthana Maharaj. And it's time to see a song with college theme song presenting here. Song.
তুমি বিজ্ঞান জানো, ভাষা জানো কতখানি, একুশ পুষ্পে পূর্ণ আরতি আগামীর হাতছানি, সেই আগামী বার্তা পাঠাই আমরাই সেরা শ্রেষ্ঠ। আমার কলেজ তেরঙা পতাকা, আমার নতুন দেশ তো।
Thank you for singing a song of college theme song. Now I request Swami Kamalasthana Maharaj to come on the dais. Please come on the dais, Maharaj. Now I request our students to felicitate Maharaj, Principal Maharaj, and now I also request our Honorable Principal Sir, now class, felicitate some token felicitate. On behalf of the Department of Education of the college, felicitate Maharaj. Thank you, sir. So please take a seat. It is my profound privilege to welcome you all to this one-day national seminar, Indian Knowledge System, the Pathway of Inclusive and Sustainable Education. Today, we are exceptionally honored to have amidst us Swami Kamalasthana, the Reverend Principal of Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Centenary College, Rohra, and a dedicated scholar of Indian culture, philosophy, and value-based education. Now I request Swami Kamalasthana to deliver her speech. Please come on the stage. Guys, Reverend Maharaj. Over to you, sir. Please
inaugurates Principal Maharaj.
It is my profound privilege to welcome you all to this one-day national seminar on Indian knowledge system, the pathway to inclusive and sustainable education. Today we are exceptionally honored to have amongst us Swami Kamalasthananda, the Reverend Principal of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Centenary College, Rohada, and a dedicated scholar of Indian culture, philosophy and value-based education. Swamiji's distinguished academic journey, encompassing decades of service in higher education, leadership in institutional quality development, and profound scholarship in Vedanta, Indian heritage, and the ecological insights of ancient literature makes his presence truly inspiring. His deep engagement with traditional Indian wisdom and his vision for value-oriented, character-building education align perfectly with the theme of our seminar. As our guest of honor, Swamiji will guide us with his enlightening reflections. His perspective, rooted in both spiritual understanding and scholarly rigor, will undoubtedly enrich our dialogue on how the Indian knowledge system can shape a more inclusive, balanced, and sustainable future. On behalf of the organizers, I extend a warm, respectful, and heartfelt welcome to Swami Kamalasthananda Maharaj. We are deeply grateful for his gracious presence and look forward to the wisdom he will share with us today.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Swami Kamalasthananda Maharaj to deliver her speech.
So on the very outset, I express my heartiest regards and also thanks to the organizer of this great college, Midnapur Day College, and also express my regards to Honorable Principal, Professor Asit Kumar Panda, for his very kind words for introducing me. And the present here, the respected dignitaries present here, all teachers and also the students present here in this, now this afternoon also, because about 12 o'clock maybe. So the talk of this seminar, that is Indian knowledge system, that is inclusive and sustainable, because today's words actually, how can we inclusively incorporate this IKS system. So first thing, that the speciality or characteristics of Indian knowledge system. First we have to know what is actually the speciality. The first thing, the Indian way is the recognition of India as a Gyan Bhumi that not only produced great art, architecture, science, engineering, but also created knowledge text that continues to guide contemporary life. The reality interrogates the idea that India is merely an object of knowledge but not a knowledge producer. Second thing is to understand India as a historically continuous civilization that is intrinsically connected to sacred spaces. This way of thinking challenges the notion that Indian civilization was a mere palimpsest and every effort to engage with ancient text would be revivalist. So this is these two things. Then again, third, the acknowledgement the Indian core values have not changed over centuries, something that demonstrates not just the resilience of the people but also its inherent strength to withstand the disruption. And fourth criteria is the continuing relevance of Indian knowledge tradition after centuries of evolution, invasion and colonialism. This tradition comes in multiple hues and are sufficiently reflexive to absorb criticism, thereby challenging the notion that Indian knowledge texts are the remnant of bygone era. So the Indian thinkers and practitioners, actually spanning more than 3,000 years as per present record, created this knowledge society that is deliberative and reflective. So the endeavor, they not only engage with either scholar but also advance and interrogate their predecessor. This is the important thing, that Indian knowledge system or not only just just progressive, but they also interrogate with their predecessors. Here this Nochiketa and Jom, Jakkobolko, Maitreyi and Shetoketu Uddalok, and so many these dialogues are there, where they are ready to push the limits of the knowledge by constant probing. So this is the present day, the Oxford debate and so many things we are seeing, but these are prevalent in ancient India also. This Akhil Bharatiya Shiksha Sangam 2023, organized by Ministry of Education, it was recognized that IQS needs to be scientifically integrated, including tribal knowledge and indigenous and traditional modes of learning, and should encompass topics such as mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, yoga, architecture, medicine, agriculture and so on in the curriculum. So the bringing together Indian approach to education is already envisioned in the education policy. For the first time in the independent India, countries looking at the producing well-grounded and organically trained human capital who are neither nervous about interrogating Western knowledge and not shy about promoting Indian traditions and culture. The ICAS is an umbrella discipline like developmental studies, public policy or management study, or more focused domains like gender education, race and ethnicity studies, area studies, even religious studies that must bring philosophers, historians, literary critics and sociologists together in this venture. So if we forget the historically contingent nature of the discipline and domains and lose our perspective, it will be a disruptive to the cause of knowledge. The ICAS project offers an unique opportunity to revisit otherwise frozen facts of academic subjects discipline and find alternative that does not deracinate us, nor does it vocabulary makes us dismissive of Indian ways of knowledge. So now that Indian knowledge system tested through practice, verified and improved it over thousands of years. As a result, the Indian knowledge system found as well-being of all. It is based on deep understanding of human being, as well as nature of entire existence. So human efforts mainly deals with two things. First, actually surviving. So living purpose we want physical facility. Then living with fulfillment. So then comes relationship. Apart from physical facility, we want relationship. Then another factor, living with continuous fulfillment. And English actually these so many terms are used. These are called bliss, peace, satisfaction, happiness, fulfillment, contentment, enlightenment, and so on and so forth. These are so many synonymous acronyms we can say. So right understanding, that is understanding harmony with truth, living in harmony, that is love and compassion, relation, living in harmony with human being, and physical facility, almost it is necessary, every time it is necessary, otherwise if we not fulfill our physical demand, how can we go for higher demand? Now the question, the ancient Indian knowledge system, what it is? So then question, is it mythology? Is it God, religion, philosophy? Is it ritual or blind faith or unscientific thing? First, everybody, just lay person just like us, we question, what is this? Then why do we need it? What is the necessity? What is the necessity of this Indian knowledge system? We have so many knowledge. Why do we require this? Useful for rituals. Is it useful for rituals? Or is it mere glorification of past? Because it is past, so we have to study. Or is there any material gain from this we can get it? Will it helpful to the society at all? So these questions, series of questions, immediate comes up in our mind. Now, what shall we do after learning everything? What actually we can do for Indian knowledge system if we are sincere? Then we get it first hand. Indian knowledge system, we have to gather this knowledge first hand, not from second hand source. We have to directly delve in this source and get this knowledge. Second, explore new field, integrating the old one, traditional one, and synthesizing and get the new opportunities for future. So, defining Indian knowledge system, first come Indian. Indian means indigenous source of knowledge generated by the Indian society. Geographically, it is undivided Indian subcontinent called Akhanda Bharat. Those people born lived for a substantial amount of time, integrating with native culture and custom. It is not the traveler's account or the foreigner. So, basic difference. Indian knowledge system, it is not a traveler's account or a foreigner's contribution. It is something people can stay for a long time. Then, if they cannot stay a long time, then culture cannot develop. This is the definition of culture. So, knowledge actually established through the wisdom and insight arising out of deep expression, observation, experimentation, analysis, and validated, improved, and augmented further. It is present in all three domains, spiritual, religious, and other fields like social and human life. So knowledge encompasses all fields. So now the speciality I am telling, because time is short, it is a vast ocean. Indian knowledge system is a vast ocean. So I just skip many things and now enter the speciality of Indian knowledge system. It is religious versus material dimension. So this I can cite a very common verse. Many student or faculty or may can understand. That is verse 7 and 8 of Gita. Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. This is studied in this way. What this verse actually means? This actually verse indicates the idea of avatar Purusha. So whenever there is a deterioration of dharma and God takes one more incarnation and uphold dharma, the incarnation of God is to be protect the good people, destroy the evil and restore dharma in society once again. So this is the concept of avatar Purusha. But how we can present it our material dimension? The above verse could be interpreted from the secular perspective to convey an idea often taught in several engineering and management schools, that is stability and long-term sustainability of the system happens because there is a regenerative point. Regenerative point. What is the meaning of this? It is a technical term. When the system attains disequilibrium and shows signs of being unstable, measures have to be taken to restore the equilibrium in the system. Any system is running. Maybe some part is in disequilibrium, some unrest. We have to regenerate this system, otherwise the whole system will collapse. It is called this regenerative system. If the regenerative points are not there, the system will become unstable and it is perished. So this thing we can implement in our engineering mechanics and our management scheme. See this verse actually Gita, it is religious, but we can truly implement in a materialistic managerial field also. Second one, spiritual and material dimension. This is what is this? This chapter 2's 22nd verse. It is also common maybe. Vasansi jirinani jatha vihayo. These things Navani Grinati Noro Purani. This is the verse is started in this way. So Krishna brings into focus the notion of time. Let us consider the verse 22 of the chapter. The meaning of this verse is just a person discards old piece of cloth and takes the new one. The Atman also discards old bodies, acquires new one. This is a spiritual angle to it, as the seeker of the knowledge will deeply contemplate. However, if we reflect on the verse furthermore, we can explore other interpretation. One such interpretation is, to be successful and sustainable organization need to continuously engage themselves in discarding the old idea, mindset, and embrace the new one. This is the fundamental building block of innovative and creative competitive advantage. When we interpret this verse in this manner, and the recent work of economics on creative destruction, it is actually a term in economics, creative destruction and innovation. The biggest challenge in the organization is mindset inertia. Every organization has mindset inertia, because we people also, we know, suppose the one language, suppose in the computer language, suppose C or something. Again come Python. How shall we Python again? Same thing. But we have to study. So inertia in this way. Suppose previously, where we are old people, we previously actually 2+1 system in graduation. Then comes 1 plus 1 plus 1. Then we face, what shall we do? What shall we, 3 years, 3 exam, how can we do? Now actually, this 8 year, 8 exam. So, this is actually, we are growing in this way. We are recovering from our inertia actually stage and win the inertia and goes forward. So this actually, this put a realistic limit to creating better organization over time. In the verse, the need of discarding old ideas and mindset is emphasized by describing the process of death. So this simple thing, the Basansi Jirinani Jatha, this class is started in this way. So this but ultimately it interpreted in present economics field, where this regeneration and also this called the destructive, creative destruction and innovation. Now another thing, typical presentation style. So ancient text actually basically in Sanskrit, and they are actually style is sutra and encryption. If we do not follow this encryption and style, we completely defeat this. Here, the more than many years before the present innovation of pi and everything, our Indian scholar Aryabhatta actually explained in this very, very nice, beautiful stanza, that is the Chatur Adhikam Satam Ashtagunam Dasasti Tatha Sahasranam Ajuta Daya Viskambhasya Asanna Vrittaha. This is called sutra. In Sanskrit, sutra means you cannot change one comma or full stop. You cannot change because this has its meaning. So this actually verse indicates how we can asanna, how we can approach the value of ratio of this circumference by diameter in this process. Not telling that exact value. So the word they used, Aryabhatta used asanna. Asanna means approaching. So therefore, how scientific mind, they are told, oh, this is the exact value. So what is the meaning? This Jotur Adhikam Satam means 100 plus 4, means 104. Ashtagunam multiplied by 4 means 832. Then add what is adding? The Dasashti Tatha Sahasranam means 62,000. So actual number is 62832. Now this is actually if the diameter of a circle is 20,000, then the circumference is 62832. Now the ratio of this circumference by diameter, it will be 3.14. It is not exact value, it is approaching to pi. So Aryabhatta is so scientific, but no, I am telling the pi exact value, asanna prittaha. So this is actually the cryptic and the encryptic words mentioned in the ancient text. We have to first set up our mind what way they want to tell. Then I again skip that Indian knowledge system. We can divide in the basically two things. One is literary, another is non-literary. So literary it will divide three, that is Sanatan Dharma, other Dharma tradition and regional. So Sanatan Dharma, if you divide, it will core and other. Core again divide. It is 14 Vidyasthanam after our coming. And the words of the several religious leaders and philosophers. And the other, it is also divided in many parts. That is, first one, that is the basic and applied sciences, engineering, technology, architecture, alchemy, then aesthetics, kavyas and arts. Then comes the health, wellness and psychology. Then comes public administration, and then comes the code of the being. And the other religions means Buddhist and Jains, all we know. And regional mainly the this wealth of the region, that is religions and other literature. And mainly non-literary, mainly this is oral based. Oral based, so many things are there, health and the lifestyle and practice, so many things. So this is actually the art form, so many things. This is the main Indian knowledge system gross classification. So this Chaturdash Vidyasthanas, 14 means all you know, 4 Vedas, 6 Vedanga, that is Siksha, Vyakaran, Nirukta, Chanda, Jyotish and Kalpa, and 4 others, that is Darshana, this Puran and Dharma Shastra, Nyaya and Mimamsa. So this encompasses 14. So 4, 6, 4 means 14. Now this actually I am telling the evidence of the Indian knowledge system present our ancient text. So that is Vedanga Jyotisha present here. This actually gives the terms actually this astronomy. Manusmriti, that is public administration, and Sulabh Sutra, that is mathematics, and Susruta Sangita, health, Ashtadhyayi Nirukta, that is linguistic, Natya Shastra, that is art form, Buddhist text, that is philosophy, Nyaya Vaisheshika, logic and epistemology, Jain mathematics indicates the mathematical, especially arithmetics and other higher things, Arthashastra, public administration, then Chanda Shastra, that is metrical and prosody, and then Yoga Sutra, control of mind, and the Kama Sutra, that is art form, Mahabhasya, that is Sanskrit language, Rasa Ratnakara, that is alchemy, Charak Samhita, health, Sankha Darshan, philosophy, and Amarkos, linguistic, Surya Siddhanta, astronomy, and Bharat Samhita, astronomy. These are small something, many are there. I am giving, that is, these are all 500 CE to 3000 BC. These literatures are present. So now I again switch over that Indian knowledge system is a vast one. So we are the era of the scientific people. We are very much interested about science and technology. And everything we have to know about in lens of science, otherwise this cannot be accepted in this present situation. So here the Indian knowledge system, how can, it is art form, the linguistic, this will help. But how it will help this present technology and the present this type of this data science and the type of algorithm, how it will help us. So these lines I want to give few words. A detailed study of archaeology remains and repository of literary works from 5th century CE to 12th century CE points to certain aspect of metalworking and metallurgy. The smelters and metalsmiths had gained a high degree of knowledge regarding furnace design, combustion of fuel, refractories, and skill in operating the furnace at the desired temperature. They are also aware of the temperature specification and other conditions they carry out in this process. These are mentioned in this type of literature. The knowledge of Indian metalsmith on iron carbon alloy was clearly superior and ahead of the time. This is evident from their ability to produce famous wood steel. Wood steel it is not an Indian text. In foreign text also, the wood steels, India is forerunner for centuries and centuries. Because from India, this wood steel exported outside, and to all we know, this Damascus famous sword only made of this wood steel. And wood steel actually produced from India. Good quality, not that is many countries produce, but good quality wood steel. Its specialty is lightweight, but its durability is tremendous. The Indian metal, then Indians are first to introduce zinc. It is also, the whole world agree. India is the first user of zinc, first extracted also. The device they also invented for extracting zinc, and also made this alloy copper and zinc. The Indian metalsmiths were of adept in alloy technology, as they could produce alloy of controlled composition. Indians developed good skill in designing and casting a variety of artifacts and deployed good molding and desiccating method. The available evidence suggests that they are casting small as well as large objects in the country. So these are the evidence, and the also put the reference also. This last one, this insight was published that this instrument in the Rajasthan and Gujarat, these are instruments for extracting the zinc. This is innovative, it is an indigenous process. Nowhere it is found, because India invented first time in the world how to extract zinc from the alloy. And this wood steel actually India produced, and more than, before it was found, 700 BC it was evident that India actually produced wood steel. This was another thing, that is Indian pillars. That is iron pillar, which is nothing but the alloy, control alloy of iron and carbon. Still, it is type of a great, the amazing thing. How can they make such a rascalous thing? This one that is Qutub Minar, and more weighted, that is in Dhar, 700,000 kg. Another in Mount Abu. These all are actually this we can get from the literature. Then iron beams, 29 iron beams at Konark temple in Odisha. This gigantic iron beams at Konark, which lay buried in the sea, the sand for a few centuries, were recently unearthed. Another thing, Bhubaneswar, there is 239 pieces found in the Puri, this Gundicha Badi temple. These are very old things. We are now actually excavating and getting this. Now another thing, that is Charak Sangita and other things they describe, the operation tools, the fabrication and more than 100 surgical tools made of iron carbon alone. The process of heat treatment to obtain the razor sharp edge, which is capable of splitting a thin hair into two longitudinal parts. You can understand the hair. You have to see this hair in the microscope. But they are able to longitudinally they dissect the hair in two equal parts. You can understand what is the sharpness of this razor. It is this razor evident, not it is story. It is evident, this razor. So they produce this type of sharp razor so that hair can be longitudinally can divided in two equal parts. Now the iron and carbon, how India is developed centuries and centuries. You can see these different types of irons are mentioned there. First is Kantolwa, the soft iron, different names. That is Brahmako, means very soft and magnetic iron. Kumbhako means mildly magnetic and stick to iron pieces. Korsoko means attracts iron objects. Dravoko means strong magnetic iron. Romaka means permanent magnet develops magnetic field around it. These are all present in literature. Tiksno Loha means carbon steel, very hard. This Khoro means develop good cutting edge breaks on bonds. Soro means softer iron, it has fibrous this fracture. Then Hinala means hard and tough, has fibrous fracture. This Trabotto and this Bajiro, these are all Sanskrit words mentioned, and this Kala. Another is Mundo Loha means cast iron. Today you know there are so many items cast iron used. That is Mridu means soft, brittle, low melting point. This Kuntha means grey iron, and Khadara means white cast iron. So these different types of names of three varieties of iron present in literature. Not I am gathering all this from literature. Another thing, that the medical science at that time developed in such a way that Bhagavad Puran written how many years before? It is so years old. Third book discussed the various stages of growth of the embryo into a newborn child. Moreover, these descriptions are also aligned to the discussion current understanding of the medical field today. At that time they heard the speculation of what they have done. But today this medical science is also doing the same thing. These are more or less same, or one or two or something, these are different. Another thing, this contribution of India in mathematics, that is number system and units of measurement. The available evidence shows that the concept of zero was prevalent during the period 500 to 300 BC. Ancient Indians were able to use a decimal system that allowed them to develop a method for handling large number. You see, first thing, Lolita Vistara Sutra of that is Siddhartha. You see, the reference also mentioned, you see the number is 10 to the power 421. Today's supercomputer also do not require this number. Mind that. But at that time, they imagined this type of number. Today we cannot think that these numbers are not usable today. More future years also required. But at that time they imagined 10 to the power 421. Then Akyan's Pali's grammar, that is 10 to the power 140. Ramayana, size of Rama's army, 10 to the power 62. Then Jain canonical work, you number you can see, that is 84 lakhs 10 to the power 28. The Anugadavara, the Sutra, Jain text 10 to the power 28. Tattvirya Upanishad Brahmananda Bolli 10 to the power 21. Lilavati 10 to the power 70. Then Taittiriya Samhita 10 to the power 30. And again another is this, that is another Jain text. It is 2 to the power 96. It is approximately 8 to the power 21. It is, if we derive this, approximately 8 to the power 28. It will become. So this huge number, and this text you can imagine how old they are. They imagine this number, and at that time other civilizations they could not think a fraction of this. But Indian scholar thinks this. This is the beauty of our ancestors. You can imagine that they are so great thinker. They can imagine this type of number. We till not use this number. Here lies the greatness and the grandeur and the merits of our ancestors. Now the number systems and unit of measurement. 3 rules are there. How can we articulate? 3 categories of naming convention are employed to develop the number theme. First, all numbers in the unit digit 0 to 9 had unique names. Sunna, Ekam, Di, Tri, Chattar, and this Pancha in this way. All numbers in the range 11 to 99 had an additive principle for naming. Very simple. Suppose 45. So how can we name? 5 plus 40. So means 5 means Pancha. 40 means Chattaring Sat. So Pancha Chattaring Sat means 4, 5. 5 plus 50 means Pancha Chattaring Sat. Very scientific. 18 means 8 plus 10. Ashta, 8 means Ashta. 10 means Dasa. So it is called Ashta Dasa, means 18. And so on. Then another subtractive principle. How? Suppose if number is 29, then it is called 30 minus 1. So it is uttered in this way. Ekono tring sat. Ono means this less. So what is 1? 1 less. From where? Tring sat 30. So this is nothing but 29. So this is very scientifically they mention this grammatical form so that people can immediately generate so many names. All numbers of higher power of 10 starting from 10 to the power 2 were named using the multiplicative principle, using the unit digits as factor for multiplication. For the example, 8,000 means 8 into 1,000. 8 means Ashta. Thousands means Sahasram. Then 70,000 means 7 into 10,000. So 7 means Sapta. And 10,000 means Ayuta. So how this comes? You hear this chart is there. This chart actually mentioned by Bhaskaracharya. It is the mathematician 12th century CE in Siddhanta Shiromani at the age of 36. Here I mention one line you see. He has described the number from 1 to 10 to the power 17 in multiples of 10 and mentioned that value system was already in use in his ancestor. Not he first time described. He just put in the record. But prevalent, these systems are prevalent by their predecessor. He only recorded. So here all has name. Ek means 10 to the power 0. The Das means 10 to the power 1. Laksa means 10 to the power 5. Prajuta means 10 to the power 6. Koti means 10 to the power 7. After that, Parardha means 10 to the power 17. So all this 10 to the power 17 we express in one word. Only one word, 10 to the power 17. So you can understand our merits and the brilliance of our ancestors. This indicates how powerful their thinker. How scientifically they can think, that today we are also amazed that how they can think this type of thinking at that many years before. Now, Indian astronomy. That is Jain Salvian Valley in 1787, he wrote, Indian tables were based on accurate observation, some of which made as early as 4300 BCE. Another great mathematician, those are mathematics people, they can understand Laplace. 1787, what he has written. I find my theory that at the Indian epoch of 3101 years before Christ, the apparent and annual means mention of Saturn means Sony was so and so, and the Indian table so and so. You see, very close. Second, I find that the annual and apparent motion of Jupiter and epoch was this, which is precisely as in the Indian astronomy. The Jupiter and other motion are completely marched. So if our ancestor peoples, if they are not scientifically think, how today this process knowledge, how can this prove same? So they also think scientifically, we understand their science to know our Indian knowledge system. Another thing, astronomy, how they developed at that time. You understand, so many jantras are mentioned. These are instruments to measure the astronomical facts. So what are these instruments? Astronomy is an observational science. Astronomical tools play a crucial role to determine the position and movements of heavenly bodies. In Siddhanta ceremony of Bhaskaracharya details many instruments. I only put a few instruments because lack of place. This Gola Jantra, he actually studied this Jantra. A sphere in which all movable and fixed circles are designed. An observer can perform observation sitting within the sphere. Actually, Bhaskaracharya doing this observation in this time. Nowadays, all this observatory they produce this round sphere-like thing. Chakra Jantra, a wooden or metallic wheel-like structure with an axis fixed in a hole at its center. It was used to determine the longitude and latitude of the planet. Chapo Jantra, it is half of the structure of Chakra. Turiya Jantra, this constitute one quadrant of the Chakra Jantra with a stick and nalika for observation celestial bodies. Then Nado Balaya, Ghanti Jantra, and this Phalaka Jantra and Dhi Jantra. So many Jantras I mentioned on a few. All have specific roles to determine the observations of the planets and their location. Another thing, irrigation and water management. Several studies indicate that there is a presence of sophisticated water management in the Dholavira. It is a very good archaeological site in the city of Sindhu Saraswati civilization. The city was surrounded by a series of 16 large reservoirs. Some are interconnected. Recently, a rectangular steep well. Steep well is a very important innovation of India. How the groundwater is stored in the crisis, especially in the drought and flood area, very deep steep well. So people can go down to this well and collect this water. This actually, Dholavira, it is measuring 73.5 meter long, 29.3 meter wide and 10 meter deep. It is 3 times bigger than the Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro. Another, this great Anaikot, that is this dam still present in Tamil Nadu, is the world's oldest still in use dam, and is also credited with being the 4th oldest dam in the world and the first in the India. This is the picture in the Google. I take this picture from Google because to show the younger that this is not a story. It is also evident. So you can go this Google. Many good picture is there. This blue one's recent picture. Another is Arthashastra on town planning. Kautilya has given detailed description on how a plan of fortified city. You see how the royal residence is there, how this type of attorney will stay, and other classes, merchant where they will stay, teachers where they will stay, teaching staff where they will stay, this type of priest and other where they stay, treasury and domestic things where they will healthcare system where this will be located, so that it is a good ideal city. And this is also now the present research architecture, they are trying to mimic this thing. Because these 4 gates and everything is a great meaning still now. So this is actually evident from this Arthashastra of this Kautilya. Governance and public administration. According to Kautilya, state income is classified under 7 heads: city, country, mines, irrigation work, forest, cattle herds, trade route. More or less, our agriculture is agri-based country. Some till now so many industries are there, but other things still we follow. The sources of income includes this mullo, means price realized by the sales of state good. Today is prevalent. Bhago, the share of goods produced by the subject. It is called bhago. This byaji, a tax imposed on sales, all sales. Till today it is prevalent. This parigraha, a protective duty of safeguarding the state goods, it is also still prevalent. This klipto means a fixed levy charged at ports on river bank. At that time, no airport, only the docks of sea and other rivers. So their port duty, they have to mention how they can control all this. This rupika means a surcharge on manufacture, till it is prevalent. Attaya means penalties, till it is prevalent. So this is actually the Kautilya's Arthashastra. These are all mentioned. I many more. I just important something I mentioned. You can see. Lack of time, I copied from the picture from a book. You can see from Kautilya's Arthashastra. This is actually the term custom duty, which indicates this import duty, export duty, and other tolls. These are in Sanskrit terms are mentioned. Transition tax. This the man vyaji, that is transition tax for crown goods. Share of production, 1/6 share. This should be given to the king or the estate, so that they can maintain all this. Tax in cash, tax in kinds. This labor, supply of soldier, till it is prevalent. Others, that is called road says monopoly tax. Taxes paid in kind by villagers, army maintenance tax, surcharge, then fees and service charges, weight and measure, passport fees, ferry fees, part duties, coining fees, land and survey, testing fees, escort charge, fixed charge, all these are many more. I just give an example that at that time these very classified taxation and fees are prevalent at that time. Not that today we are doing very classified thing, but previously at the Kautilya's Arthashastra, at that time these are prevalent, so he recorded all these things methodically. So this is actually our study, so that we can improve our taxation and administration following this. Now, in the last page I am coming, I told why we can study IKS. Many more options are there, many more causes. I am mentioning very pertinent burning cause. What is this? For protecting received wisdom, economic security and national uniqueness, we have to study IKS. I am giving the 2 examples. Documenting traditional knowledge to provide evidence of the prior knowledge. First example I am showing. US company was awarded a patent for neem. Neem we are used, this daton and so many things we are used. The same neem everywhere people. They got patent. Now, if anything we have to produce, we have to permission from them. Because we failed in our effort to get in this US patent on this product. We failed. We cannot show evidence. They all stole all evidence from us and put that this neem actually our patent thing. Second, CSR successfully forced the US Patent Office to revoke the patent granted on use of powdered turmeric. Turmeric means holy. This it is called turmeric. Powdered turmeric, age-old tradition, it is used as an antibacterial wound healing. People say use. And they also again, just like neem, they also filed. But ultimately, our India government and CSR, they fought tooth and nail, shows the evidence that these are our Indian tradition. So we can get back this turmeric. So we can understand. If we do not know our age-old tradition, then outside state, outside people, they patent all this, and we have to hire this thing from them. Is it good? So many are cause for study, I guess. But for my perspective, this is, I think, a burning cause. If we do not know our traditions, our knowledge, if we do not study for this, then other countries, they will study and they will put their IPR values, patent, copyright, and we again get permission and pay money for get this knowledge, our knowledge. So for this purpose, I think many other causes, we have to study our age-old thing. Otherwise, other people will study and get the copyright. So I do not extend my talk. I think this is the last slide. With these few words, I thank everybody for your patience here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj, for her enlightening us with speech. Please be seated. Please be seated. If any questions arise, please stand up and question the Maharaj. But time is very short. 1 or 2 questions we take, and then we decide the lunch session. So, if you have a question, please stand up, and 1 or 2 questions we received. Okay. Thank you, everyone. In inaugural session, now I request Dr. Subrata Giri for vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest, respected dignitaries, distinguished scholars, esteemed our colleagues, dear students and participants. It is my great privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this occasion of the inaugural session of our national seminar on Indian knowledge system, the pathway to inclusive and sustainable education, organized by the Department of Education, Midnapur College. On behalf of our college and the entire organizing committee, I extend myself gratitude to all who have contributed to making this session truly meaningful and inspiring. First and foremost, I express my deepest respect and sincere thanks to Dr. Asit Panda, our principal sir, for his enlightening inaugural speech and for his constant guidance and encouragement. I am grateful to Professor Suptaranjan Ghosh, former teacher in charge of Midnapur College, for gracing this event with his presence and sharing his valuable reflections. My heartfelt appreciation goes to our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Ramkanto Mohalik, Professor RIE NCRT Bhubaneswar. We are truly privileged to have benefited from his academic insights. A special word of gratitude is extended to our guest of honor, Swami Kamalastha Nando Maharaj, that is Principal Maharaj of Rohada Ramakrishna Mission, for his presence has added great value and inspiration to this academic gathering. I would also like to acknowledge and thank Dr. Gokul Chandra Patro, Organizing Secretary and Convener of the seminar, for delivering the warm and graceful welcome address and for his tireless efforts in coordinating every aspect of this seminar. We are immensely thankful to Dr. Gautam Ghosh, IQSC Coordinator and Deputy Controller, and Dr. Tomsri Pal, Member Secretary of Academic Council, for their meticulous planning, academic support. My sincere thanks also go to Dr. Monishri Mondol, Convener of the Seminar Committee, for her committed leadership and outstanding organizational support, which have been instrumental in shaping this seminar. I express gratitude to our governing body member, Professor Dilip Kumar Bhattacharya and Professor Sushanto Jana, for honoring us with their presence and extending continuous support. Special thanks to Dr. Parthapati Maiti, Secretary of the Teachers Council, for his encouragement. My heartfelt appreciation also extends to all faculty members, non-teaching staff, research scholars and students of Bendapur College for their collective effort. To all our participants and delegates from different institutions across the region and beyond, I extend our warm gratitude for your academic interest and engagement. Finally, I thank every individual, visible or behind the scenes, who has contributed in any way to the smooth, successful conduction of this inaugural session. With this word, I once again convey our sincere appreciation to all of you. Let you look forward to a day filled with stimulating discussion and meaningful academic exchange. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Morning in sir, Subroto Giri sir. Today's the great session is overcome in vote of thanks by Subroto Giri. In inaugural session is complete. Now it's time to take a lunch. The program schedule of our national seminar, Indian Knowledge System, the Path of Inclusive and Sustainable Education. All dignitaries are requested to leave the Vivekananda Hall, and all students are stand up to honor of the guests and dignitaries. Thank you. Thank you, guest of honor. Special thanks, Mahalik sir, and so many others distinguished persons. Please be seated. All students are requested, please be seated. You are all very patient to listen our keynote speaker and guest of honor speech. So I request all of you, after the lunch session, actually we are going to the technical session, which that all students are gathering here, and paper presenters should be present in 3 technical session rooms. In these 3 technical session rooms, in Vivekananda Hall, Chairperson Dr. Bishwajit Sen, Associate Professor, Vidyasagar Teachers Training College, and next one, Seminar Hall, Chairperson Dr. Ashish Kumar Dandapat, Principal, Hisley College, and room number 3 by Chair Dr. Pankaj Kumar Pal, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, Governor Queen Memorial College. If you see your seminar kits, then you will look after the program schedule, which is denoted which student performed or present their paper on which room. Please see the program schedule, and you will go on this room after the lunch session. And time is very important to mention the program schedule, that we are all gathered 2:30 p.m. of 3 rooms. Before leaving the lunch session of the Vivekananda Hall, we also declared that the Vivekananda Hall is gathering audience PG semester 1 and UG semester 5. Seminar Hall gather up the audience by the UG 3rd semester, and room number 3 technical session, which is established in the English department smart classroom, then going to the audience of the students UG 1st semester. So please, thank you to take lunch, and after taking lunch you are all gathering here and other mentioned room. Thank you.
হ্যালো, তোমরা একটু শুনবে যারা এই টেকনিক্যাল সেশনের জন্য তৈরি হচ্ছ। বিবেকানন্দ হল মানে এই হলে যারা পেপার প্রেজেন্ট করবে প্রত্যেকের যে ফাইল দেওয়া হয়েছে ওই ফাইলের মধ্যে প্রোগ্রাম শিডিউলটা দেওয়া আছে এবং সেখানে প্রত্যেকের নামও দেওয়া আছে পেপার প্রেজেন্টরের। এবং সবথেকে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে অডিয়েন্স। বিবেকানন্দ হল বা সেমিনার হল বা স্মার্ট ক্লাসরুম অফ ডিপার্টমেন্ট অফ এডুকেশন ইংলিশ, তো অডিয়েন্সের নামও দেওয়া আছে কোন সেম থাকবে। যেমন বিবেকানন্দ